Hey everybody, welcome to session 65 of Materia D&D. Last time for our session 64, we had a few of our players out, so we had a lot of people filling in and, well, having a little fun with everyone's characters. But the story did progress still and develop in a serious manner. We picked up with the menagerie having made it to the Twin Mills on the outskirts, on the southwestern side of Green Hill, where they were escorted, or they rendezvoused with, I guess you should say, they rendezvoused with Julian and Rex, and as well they came up there with some of the Grot Guard, notably Erebus, who's one of the lieutenants, and they got to know a little halfling girl, or well, not little halfling girl, but halfling Grot Guard Velma, and they got to kind of meet the Verdant Cause. We'll call him a defector. He's still technically Verdant Cause, but he's staying down in Green Hill, even though the Verdant Cause were pulled out due to some political joshing based on the sovereign up in Whitlaw and his disagreement with Seb.
That was Kenris,
Uh,
right?
Ken Rose. Yeah,
Ken Rose? Okay.
Ken
I got it
Rose.
written down wrong.
Um, however, the menagerie did rest. They did play some dragon chess. Rock did end up defeating Rex and collecting a coin which was revealed to be from the Biashara Isles. If we were looking at the map, not on the map that we actually have, but on the globe, it would be basically the northwestern hemisphere of the planet of Materia is just a giant, vast sea, known as the northern blue or the gape, deep abyss, and there essentially there are numerous isles, and they all essentially get lumped together as the Biashara Isles. Davis happened to have a coin similar enough in style and recognized the coin that Rex was using as one of his stand-in pieces because of his actual menagerie of dragon chess pieces. However, some discussion about it being potentially a treasure coin or a key, maybe having some sort of uh, magic enchantment on it, all came up. However, it seemed to not really be applicable at the time. Uh, the
Julian
day
did ask
continued.
me if sea
Hmm.
creatures had been attacking me ever since I got it, and I was like, no. He's like, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
But then he said, yeah, it's a
Uh,
key from something, and he also said it looks like it wasn't stolen. I was like, okay. So yeah,
yeah.
the whole thing was this was like one of the things Adam asked us to create, like just random knickknacks in our inventory, and I just put it in there. And as soon as he said it's a coin, I was like, does it look like my coin? And he said, yeah. So
Yeah. So, with the whole dragon chess and waiting for dusk to occur, the menagerie joined their compatriots, the Grot Guard and Julian and Rex, and they were put up on fishing vessels. Most of them were 2 to 3 man per boat. Marb happened to be covered in a tarp because he was the one that would stand out the most. And Allegretto disguised himself as his interpretation of Cole. Uh,
yeah, my buddy
and
Cole from way back that I told him about.
yeah, and they went in with all the fishermen as the sun was going down, and then followed the channel to one location where Al, as Cole, helped unload and noticed a particular carving in one of the posts of the building, and then jumped back on the boat, and they continued down where they made to some of the docks. And the docks were interesting. We'll call it, it's almost like a key, but they had water canals running along the walkways, under bridges, and there were buildings lined up along these canals. And essentially, you witnessed as people were unloading the barrels and all that floated down to where they needed, and they had emblems or markers or flags of some sort, and they were being scooped up by the appropriate buildings. Uh, After doing this and Marb being scooped up and put in one of the buildings, you that was guarded by Vinny and his crew, you went in, collected yourselves, discussed what the mission was, and the mission is to get reconnaissance, try to figure out what's happening, how this alliance between the ogre kin and the giant kin and the ogres and the worshippers of the mother bounties came about. Um, Trying to find some individuals, trying to get medical supplies and other supplies that would be beneficial to what has now been known as Green Post, the refugee escapee type of, I guess, transient post that has been set up south of Green Hill with some 500 or so individuals that were able to escape before Green Hill proper became besieged by the Giants. Um, Upon being there, the menagerie also uh, had the dangerous, so I guess assumed dangerous mission of going back to the Adventurers League, which Erebus did mention that it was basically off limits, but since Seb told y'all to go there, you are going to go there, hopefully. Um, some other disguises did ensue as they departed. Marb stayed to the rooftops and out of sight. Al donned a plethora of disguises and personas, starting off as Rebecca, then shifting to Jessica, and so on and so forth. The menagerie did eventually, at one point, track down the Green Thumb, which was Cassidy's, the Furbolg, who seemed to have a knack for gardening her establishment, which Davis had been previously. However, it had been taken over and changed to a point of worship, as many other places along the walk. You've noticed that all the shrines have been converted into Mother Bounty shrines. This was turned into the Central Bounty, where Al went in under the guise of Jessica, with the ever present eyes of Dregnar upon him from the outside. And Al listened to sermons and uh, saw some semblance of, the way they worship the land and the bounty, and did with notice that there was one of the proper sisters missing one of the eyes, giving a lecture or a speech, a sermon, and did detect some magic present amongst the missing eye. Did give like a glow as if there was some sort of eye present there, and just the general what she was saying had some magic laced into it. Snapping to a decision and offering themselves as Jessica to become a sister or a daughter, uh, some discussions were had, and she did manage to make her way out, and then depart from the Green Thumb, which then the menagerie did notice that that tree, or mostly Davis noticed, is that that tree that they were having the sermon under when Davis was there was probably about 15 feet tall, and now it's 40 plus feet and a proper tree. Marb absolutely fell in love with the tree. Rock wants to burn the tree. Uh, the menagerie did head over to the alleyway. In the alleyway, they did have some discussions, hush hush discussions, trying to figure out what they were going to do. And they were not so much interrupted, but they did come across a group of five ogres dressed in leathers and piecemeal armor, adorned with skulls and bones and weapons, uh, patrolling through uh, on a loud, basically people moving out of their way. And at one point, Davis did try to uh, show some passivity and respect and bowed his head as they passed. And well, one of them tried to shove him to the ground as he did it. Uh, Holding back, the menagerie collected themselves and then basically trailed and stalked these ogres from a distance, with Pass Without a Trace, with Marb on the roof, Dregnar leading the way. and they followed them all the way back to the docks.
Danny saved that dude's ass.
Yeah, and where the ogres were essentially taking um, the grilled fish and the fish fry that was going on, taking it from the fishermen that worked day to have it. Um, there was some injury shenanigans played to try to cause a distraction. However, the situation was very intense, and it did eventually subside and fizzle out, um, with the menagerie joining the fishermen to eat, under the guise of fellow uh, Greenland or Green
Green
Hillians.
Hillians, Green
Yeah,
Hillers.
Green Hillers. Yeah, I don't know what the proper term is. From the other side of town, where the Eastern Front did suffer the most damage. Uh, there, the not so subtle, but still subtle call for an uprising did kind of start. And we'll see how those seeds are planted and what will happen from them. We did leave off with the menagerie recollecting themselves and trying to find a place to rest. However, they did head back central into the Green Hill, where they ventured towards the Adventurers League, and they did, from a distance, see the still, it seems, ever smoldering ruins and rubble of the once. Uh, I don't know how to explain it, but of the brick structure, the large structure, the one structure that seemed solid and have a foundation is now missing, with ogres and giants sleeping amongst the rubble and the streets. Uh, very little activity in the area, and that's essentially, excuse me, where we're picking up. Where it's somewhere in the evening, it is dark. The menagerie has been making their way towards the Adventurers League or the ruins of it, and you are essentially have a sleeping giant in one vicinity as you're trying to do whatever you wish to do. So, if if uh, anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. There's a long, recap with people since people were out, but I think I covered most of the key points.
The one thing I would mention is that Rock planted the idea of the tree and the central bounty burning being like the rallying cry, like that's the signal for everybody to just start fighting. So,
True. Yeah.
and also the other thing is fuck Billy, fuck that guy.
All right. That was one of the other guys that
So,
Al took out.
does Billy have an accent or anything?
No, Billy was that little. If you remember him, he was the the dock hand that I think initially gave Davis some trouble, and then was actually one of the members of Julian's crew as you were sailing or traveling down the river back to Green Hill the second time, or to Deep Root the second time.
Okay, I remember most of them. What race was Billy?
Human boy, just a little shit.
He was human. Okay.
All like
Oh.
sun baked skin, dark complexion, but a skinny little shit basically.
Fantastic. Okay.
So right now it's what time of day? Because I think it was dusk as we were leaving the fish fry or something, right?
No, it was starting to be dusk when y'all were heading in.
Oh, okay. So it's like just night now.
It's night, yeah. It was already getting pretty dark, like the end of dusk into proper night when you were leaving the Green Thumb,
Oh, okay.
as there was torches and candles lit around. Green Hill is not a super modern, city, so there are those oil lit candles for light or lanterns for light. Uh, some of you in your travels would have gone through some proper cities such as Whitlaw, where Whitlaw actually does have magical light and all that established.
So in this place, it would be like a guy who goes around every night and lights the candle or lights the oil lanterns on the
A crew or
street.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you would have seen that it's still going on today.
Interesting. All right, guys. Yeah, let's try and. So I think nighttime's probably the best time to go looking in the Adventurers League, right? Don't you guys think? Broad daylight seems like not a good idea.
So y'all are, but a square or so over. It's called a few, like a 300 to 600 feet away from the ruins of the Adventurers League, as you've been guided by Dregnar. That's where we left off. And you just hear the. There's like shaking the air as there's a giant off to just, down the ways, just as he can, just be kind of laying on the ground using a small like shed from one of the little buildings as like a pillow essentially.
All right, sneakers. What's the best way to get in?
Two things. I want to find, like a back door of some sort, maybe, and let me see if we can pass without trace to sneak us all in. But is there a back door that we can try to around?
So currently, you guys are kind of just more like in the the streets, right? The winding, bending, uncoordinated streets of Green Hill and towards the center. Um, there are You're not in a building, you're not like that, and as far as you can tell from what you've been told and what you've been able to kind of see from the distance. Oh, and Marb, you do have dark vision, if I remember, because I think Dregnar, yeah, you have
Yes,
dark
8
vision.
hours.
That's right.
Yeah. So, um, you're seeing like rubble and ruin and like some signs of smoldering where the Green Hill Adventures League Hall was before. Uh, there doesn't seem to be a structure left. There are,
That was a big place there.
yes, it was big.
I guess by this point, how well we know the place, because we've explored plenty of it.
Mhm.
It has like a cellar. Is that like a basement?
Mm-hmm.
Underground something in that building? I don't know if like roll memory or something.
Well, yeah, you could. As you guys are approaching and kind of panning out, yeah, Marb, if you want to, well, essentially it'll be like a streetwise. So you can give me a history check, uh, and you are considered. You still have advantage for of it because of your totem, and then because you are set to urban, you can consider yourself proficient in it. That's by the way, we set your terrain to urban.
Really? Wow.
A 3 and 3.
So,
Mark, do you let us know what you're trying to do?
So here's the plan. I believe, or I think the Adventurers Guild must have some sort of weapon vault of the more magical kind. Like there were a lot of adventurers, a lot of stuff, but also a lot of like of the Wiggs research lab might be around. So there's got to be a place where they at least store like even normal like swords for training stuff, weapons.
Adam, wherever I've been in there, of course I'll remember it. So if there was a way downstairs or whatever, what would be the best way to get to that door or that stairwell?
If it still exists.
trying to remember if you were. I think you were still with the group when you saw Wiggs do the. So here's, as well as you're gonna remember it. You're going off of memory, and you haven't really approached too close to the ruins, and it is a pile of ruins. So go ahead and give me essentially it would be like a streetwise check. So you can give me
I was going off the wanderer thing where it says I always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around me.
yes. However, you never went down below,
Okay.
and you are looking at. If you were to look at it, it's basically like rubbles and level, like the building's leveled essentially. There's like some wall standing, but it's essentially as if let's just do a modern equivalent, like like Syria after it's been bombed and attacked, where the buildings are barely standing and there's rubble, or so it it's
No,
not really.
I was more thinking of where the stairwell leading down would be as far as like is it the north corner, the west corner, the east corner?
Oh,
Because
honestly, it
there's
was
nothing else I can really tell on top without us searching through the rubble. I'm looking for like an entrance to the
yeah.
basement.
So if you recalled,
Mm.
more or less, it would have been when you walked in. There was a central. It was basically where the central desk was, because there was the stairs that went over the central desk off to the side, and that's at least the one entrance that you guys were made privy, as Wiggs did pull on that lantern, and the door opened up, and he descended.
Okay, I'll let everybody else know that.
So yeah, a little bit a ways away into the building, but central location is like your best bet to kind of follow in. Um. Yeah. Okay.
I pasted a picture of like a modern demolished building, so just keep in mind, like it's mostly just a pile of shit. Like,
Oh, trust me, I've seen plenty of demolished buildings.
Yeah,
I was
okay,
just looking. I was
okay.
just trying to remember. I did 7 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. I've seen plenty of demolished buildings.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about the stairwell going down its general location.
Oh, okay.
I know
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to discern what
Yeah,
room was
like
where
it's
and
covered
how
in
it fall.
stuff.
Yeah. I'm not an architect or a demolitions expert by any means.
Yeah. And
I'm
here's
just
the
looking for
thing.
the stairwell.
And here's the thing too. Like that stairwell, right, was masked and disguised, right? Like you had no idea that it existed there until Wiggs did his it's like Bruce Wayne's grandfather clock that becomes the entrance to the Batcave. Kind of similar to
What?
that.
Bruce Wayne is Batman? You just ruined everything for me.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert! Jesus.
So there's a lot we need to talk about. Clark Kent.
So Clark
Superman.
Kent, his profession is Superman. His identity.
What?
is
He's a
Clark Kent.
reporter.
What? No, Clark Kent wears glasses. Superman doesn't wear glasses.
Barry
It's stupid.
Allen, the CIS guy. The Flash, obviously.
Yeah. You
Sorry about
know,
that.
I need to
I
lay
mean-
down for a while.
Peter Parker,
No, don't do
neighborhood
it.
Spider-Man.
We need a break. I'm calling a break.
I need an adult.
Thanos.
I
they
need
wanted
my
to,
I need my safe space.
yeah. They wanted to break baby Thanos' neck. They probably still couldn't because he's still. Never mind that. Those whatever. Okay. Anywho, so yes. So you keep in mind that for a visual picture, again, I don't have a screenshot or anything like that or like a map, but you guys are in the walkways, the winding, twisting roads with it being dark. There are some candle lights available. Some of the buildings in the area are damaged. However, the only real building that has been destroyed, which is about, like I said, 300 to 600 feet away, kind of hard to judge at this time of evening, is the Adventurers League Hall. And it is a large, it's court. It was in the back, and all that is still there. Like you can see the space, but it's torn up. It's, there are boulders literally amongst the rubble as well. So
Can I send Pebble to just fly around and see if anything magical happens to Pebble?
yeah, absolutely. If you wanted to,
So I'm going to be watching her, and with my eye, like if it seems like she's in trouble, I'm gonna snap, just save her.
okay. So sure, go ahead.
Sorry, not Pebble. Parrot Pebble.
Yeah. So you got.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other thing. I
Macaw
forgot.
Pebble.
Macaw Pebble. Let's see if there's a stat block for Parrot real quick. I don't think there is.
Yeah, Pebble is no longer a little oxpecker. She's a very stereotypical pirate bird macaw.
Yeah.
But that's just a stereotype.
Macaw.
Ivy. Parrot. I'm just trying to see if there's one that exists. Like, I'll probably just do like a generic bird. Yeah, just pretty standard, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, so it would be like a raven. Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, you go ahead, Pebble. Right, she flies over. It's dark. You lose sight of Pebble because you don't have any real sight of illumination. How high is Pebble flying? What's the flight path?
Let's say 30 feet above the ground, not very high.
Okay.
And just like kind of just circle around it, like not straight to the moon, just circle the rope, pretty close to the rope.
Gotcha. Okay. Pebble is flying around. You do eventually, because you don't have dark vision. You're kind of squinting and trying to focus, and there's times where you just lose Pebble out in the distance completely. And how long are you having Pebble circle? What's the plan? Are you gonna vamp your
One
vision in?
Just
Okay.
one lap, just to see if anything weird happens.
All right. You start hearing the flapping of wings. Lands on you.
Pebble, did you see anything weird?
Nothing weird.
Okay, guys, it seems safe.
Yeah, Pebble can talk now.
Giants.
Too much of a shock.
Giants with an S.
Just nods. I guess, yeah, Pebble's smart enough. I mean, she'll imitate the sound perfectly of rumbling snores.
Nice. Creepy and nice.
Yeah, I'm picturing that. Yeah. Okay, well, if we're quiet, we should be able to go in, unless anyone has.
Yeah, but there's
another
nowhere
idea.
to go in. It's just a big pile of stuff. We're just gonna go digging in there?
I'd say if we went anything, we go to the middle unless there was some place that Parrot Bird saw that they were digging, maybe looking for something.
Should we have detect magic on one of us in case maybe we can find some leftover weapons or anything that might have been lost in the rubble?
Let me check. I do have detect magic.
But you are the one that's currently supplying Pass Without a Trace, right?
Oh, stupid concentration. I always forget about that.
Make sure
Got
you
it.
did mark
Like
up your spell slot, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there like a way to get double concentration? Is that even a
No,
thing,
it
or
would
do you
be
need to
very
be like a
broken.
wizard?
Concentration exists as a power check.
Oh,
Because
man.
it would be very broken.
Dedicate my bird life to finding something that allows me to have double concentration.
So
Technically, Ring of Spell Storing can kind of do it.
you allow someone else to use their concentration, right?
Right.
There are like homebrew stuff where people are like, oh yeah, you can concentrate on 2, but you can't move, and you have to make a concentration check every round or something. Like, people try to get double concentration, but like, it exists for a reason.
Fine.
I can cast, but I need 10 minutes. If you guys want to scout a little, just give me some time.
I wouldn't mind going for it, and I could stay near the front
We'll go extra
alongside
stealthy.
Marb. Yeah, if we're gonna be stealthy,
You're a
Yeah.
sneaky boy.
Billy.
That makes
Fuck.
more sense.
Fucking Billy.
just
Billy.
Wait,
just
actually, are you
kinda-
still Billy? At this point, you could choose, I think.
Yeah, it's up to you. Switch your appearance while you were walking.
yeah. If we're alone, I'll switch back.
Okay. All right.
Much
Grandpa
better.
Al. Yeah.
I missed the beard. But yeah, I
Ooh.
can stay up front with Marb.
Okay.
Keep an eye out.
Let's go. Stealth name.
So are you two going by
Something else.
yourselves, or are we kind of all going in?
We can go by ourselves, but can we take the bag of holding rock just to jam as much stuff that we can in there?
Yeah, I'll hand it over to you.
Sweet. And Davis, do you have, or Dragnar, do you have a satchel that I can borrow? Just like a burlap sack, real quick.
Not really. I have the cloak that I'm wearing. That since it's dark now, I guess I don't need. If you want to like try and fashion something into that.
Sure, give it to me.
Sure, I'll
And
take.
I like find a little corner
Doff my cloak.
and tell everyone not to look and start emptying a bunch of my pockets into the cape and kind of like tie it up with like a rope.
Okay.
And I don't know, like I spit on it and like drip like some like acid on it. It's like, if you open this bag, I'll swear to God, I'll murder you and chop you in tiny, tiny pieces that will fit right in this bag again.
Alright,
Deal?
so,
You'll do it. I've seen it. I've seen
I
it
handed
happen
it
before.
back to Davis. Please take good care of this. It's a lot of my pocket possessions.
I let
It
it
might
kind of.
explode, but
I hold it
I
between
think-
my thumb and forefinger, and then kind of just put it on the ground and be like, "This is gross."
sorry. Thank you. I just want to be a little less encumbered too, and I strapped the bag of holding behind me, ready to
Okay.
go.
all right.
Adam, you said we're in the walkway, right?
Yeah, essentially you're like, yeah, like not in an alley. You guys could have by all means diverged to one of the alleys, but just one of the winding roads or twisting,
I just don't want to be standing out in the open, and
Yeah,
you know,
you're
so we
good.
may want to move off to the side or an alleyway or whatever.
You more
Mhm.
than easily were able to do that. So I guess with the plan kind of made, who is doing what? Yeah, we'll start, I guess. Marb and Al, y'all are gonna go together.
Mm-hmm.
What is, let's say,
Weapons first.
Ragnar doing?
As soon as Marb's away, I'm opening the bag. No, I'm just messing with you. I will scurry up one of the buildings and provide oversight.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
Dwarves with their tiny little arms climb buildings?
Go ahead and do give me it's not gonna be too difficult, but since you're not proficient in acrobatics, but you are proficient in athletics, sorry. Climbing is athletics, yeah, it's easy enough. Your passive athletics is strong enough, yeah. Easy enough. You are, if you want to do it quietly, you can go ahead and give me a stealth check.
So not to be the spoiler, but I really don't know if Marb or Al can actually carry
Yeah,
the bag
hey.
of holding.
That's that is for them to find out.
But we can't hold it?
It's too heavy. It's 15 pounds.
15.
Oh,
Might not be able to hold it.
I mean, you can hold it. It's just you're encumbered.
yeah, you'll be moving slower.
I rolled a 2, got an 8.
8. Okay.
I'm
Dragnar,
pretty sure
real
I can
quick.
carry 15 pounds. Let me throw some of my stuff away.
Well, we're fine. Like, if don't necessarily throw it away, but like if you do like quick math, like dropping your crowbar and
Yeah, like you
your
can just
crowbar-
throw that
was
in
the point
the.
of the sack to like compensate for it.
Yeah, we'll say you're able to drop enough weight.
Okay.
However, yeah, like your tinkering tools,
Your
for
hammer
example.
and other shit.
Yeah. Can I
Or
leave
10.
everything? Well, let's say like everything other than like my weapons and
Yeah,
like a torch.
maybe.
I mean, just the rope and the tinker's tools alone will be fine. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just throw it in the bag. Safe thing.
I mean, I don't think I'm gonna need my like water skin. Like I'm gonna die of dehydration on the way back. But
you never know.
You
Water's
never know.
helpful.
But yeah, so
The
you're
last time
we'll
I
say
saw his stuff.
you activate a trap that can only be disabled by water. Fuck.
Yeah. Al, I think we rolled your wand of the occult for you. I just don't remember
Does
what we
I
anybody
thought
know
it
the
was
number?
wizard, but I'm not sure.
You can go ahead and roll it because I don't remember the number. That's fine. Go ahead and roll it just so you have something.
Okay.
I know it was druid, but I don't remember what we got. Okay.
Does that do it again?
You've got cleric.
Oh,
Cleric.
nice.
All right. So yeah, keep that in mind. Dragnar, yeah. So Dragnar, you're kind of seeing Al and Marb. Marb is kind of getting himself as light as possible, and then taking the bag of holding, kind of putting it over the shoulder, securing the strap so it's nice and tight, getting a feel for it. And they start to head off. Dregnar, you start looking and you find what you think is a solid portion of, one of the wooden buildings, and you go and pull, and you just rip some of the boards off, and it makes this loud noise. You're like, kind of get over the side and look around, start clambering up, and then you make your way up to the top. However, the roof on it is questionable, and as you put your weight on it, you hear the boards creaking. And as you do, you kind of have to leap as part of the roof kind of falls underneath your foot. And you made a lot of noise, but you're on the roof.
Shit. I'm gonna look around to see if I see anything. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
Alright, go ahead.
quickly going to look around and see.
Right. Y'all can give me perception. You two can give me perception checks. You can't help one another because y'all are at different elevations.
22.
22. Davis, it's dark. You're with your group. You weren't expecting noise. You kind of look around, try to listen.
Yeah, like at first I look and make sure nothing's like falling on us.
Yeah, you're
And
good.
then I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, and then you kind of look. It's very easy for you to spot where Dregnar is. You're like, oh, okay. And you see Dregnar kind of looking, kind of blending in the shadows just a little bit.
Cussing under his breath.
Yeah, you got a
Pretty
22. You do hear some footsteps starting to walk, kind of like bouncing around in some of the alleys or roadways. It's like on the not. They don't really have cobbles. Actually, this section does have paved streets. You do hear like the clatter of multiple footsteps.
Whatever direction it's coming from,
Mhm.
because you said that Davis could see me, I'll point that way and kind of do the eye thing to tell him to look that way.
Okay.
I assume I can make out what he's doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's easy enough. You
I'll
have
just
an
tell
easy
Rock
feat.
to kind of like we'll shimmy into as dark a little corner as we can.
Okay. You guys kind of shimmy. Go ahead, you two, give me stealth checks.
Alright. Disadvantage for me.
With
hooray.
pass without a trace.
No, you're probably too far at this point.
You're too far away now.
Oh.
It's just you and Al will get your pass without a trace.
6.
You beat me.
All right. Yeah, Davis, you're kind of like, oh, and you hear the footsteps as Dragnar gives you the signal up top, and then you just kind of clamber your armor. You kind of bang
Yeah.
into the
I've
side
even
of the
got my
building.
glaive out. It's just like smacking against stuff.
Yeah, you pull Rock, and Rock goes, "Ugh!" as you yank him back.
Quiet, stop.
And you just hear it. All right, Marb and Al, go ahead and roll me stealth checks. Marb is concentrating on pass without a trace, so +10. Marb, you are considered expertise because you are in your urban.
19 stealth? What the fuck?
36.
Oh, because of +10.
20 stealth?
Yeah.
Yeah, +7, +3.
Do we hear Davis and all that going on?
Sneak
Well, that's the
team,
thing.
we
So
just
y'all had gotten, one Marb is able to move kind of at full speed while stealthing in his favorite terrain.
Oh yeah, I'm having trouble keeping up.
Yeah, so your Marb is kind of slowing down to keep you in the bubble. Like you move quick and silent, but you don't move that quick. You're kind of
Do it.
yeah. However, you guys both kind of lose each other, then find each other, lose each other, and then you hear the clatter, and you both turn around and you look at each other. And Al, and Marb, because you're on your favorite terrain, your passive perceptions are high enough where you hear multiple footsteps. Kind of not. I don't know the right word. It's not sourceless, right? But it's kind of hard to pinpoint where the source is because it's just kind of bouncing around.
Is there anything around the rubble that it's like an entrance to like the bottom or like the basement?
You are
underground.
nowhere near the building yet. Y'all are
Oh, okay.
300 feet away. Y'all are still just started to get out of the way. But here, I will say, like we did last session, theater of the mind. If you want to imagine there's a building, say there's a building. If there's barrels, say there's barrels. If there's, a sign, have fun with this, right? Because I'm not providing you a map, so go with your theater of mind. I will give you distances. I will give you like ideas. You know, the walkways and the roads are of different widths. They are very winding, as you recall. There is no real architecture to Green Hill. It's just build a building here, build a building here. There are damaged buildings in this area because it is within the vicinity of uh, the Adventures League. Uh, what you can see, or what y'all are able to see when you're kind of approaching and looking from a distance, there are boulders like in the Adventures League, like on top of it. So, you could say that is there a boulder near me? And I'm like, sure, you can. There's a boulder for you to provide your cover, but whatever you want. So yeah, you hear just they're not rushing footsteps. You just hear, and you hear if you Davis, Al, Marb, and uh, Dregnar. If you are proficient in survival, which Marb you technically count because this is your favorite terrain, you can give me a survival check to try to pinpoint maybe how many footsteps are coming towards you.
At 20, 25 total.
Nice.
I'm not proficient, so
It's a billion of them.
Unnatural 20.
dirty
Okay.
20.
So, dirty 20. Marb, it's about a half a dozen. 4 to half a dozen. Dragnar, it's about you're very confident. It's about 6 sets of footsteps. Dragnar with
I know I
a
don't hear it,
natural
but
20.
what kind of footsteps are they? Are they like?
It's hard for you to discern. For Dragnar and Marb, they seem of the lighter variety. Dragnar, you pick up a heavier set of footsteps amongst about 5 lighter ones. So like by lighter I mean like humanoid.
Humanoid.
One seems heavier, not but heavier.
Do I have a specific direction now?
Yes, and they would be, let's say the Adventures League is to we'll call it like stage, right? So we'll say like north, so up and to the left. They are coming more directly from the right, kind of.
Okay, well, I'll look over the edge and
Mhm.
try to get Davis's attention. I'll point exactly where they're coming from.
Sure.
I'll hold 5 fingers up and kind of do like an average size, like 6 inches apart. One, and I make it bigger.
I'll say
And I,
with the way how messy Rock and I were like trying to
Mhm.
hide, I'm probably not even looking up there anymore. I'm just like like looking at Rock and just being like, just go ahead. Shh.
Yeah. So Dragnar, you kind of
You'd have to get our
you
attention,
kinda
basically.
lean over and you start doing hand signs, and you see that Davis and Rock are like looking down at the alley and just
throw a
kind
rock at them.
of you find a little like loose debris and go ahead and
Make it a stack
give
roll.
me. I was gonna say a dexterity check, yeah, just to see. You are proficient in it because you can. So just give me a proficient dexterity check.
Roof debris is a monk weapon, so
I mean,
17.
he's proficient. Materia monks are proficient with improvised weapons.
oh, nice.
Because why not? Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan were proficient with improvised weapons. Just watch their movies. Therefore, 17. Yeah, you kind of get their attention. You throw a little piece and you kind of pelt Davis, like,
Ow.
clavicle area. Looks up. He's like,
Yeah, now I'll see
I'll
what
do
you.
that again. I'll do 5 and like 6 inches apart, and then 1, making it like not about twice the size, and that's pointing in the exact direction that it's coming from.
Yeah, we'll hunker down even more.
okay. You guys do that. All right. Al and Marb, what are you guys doing? Continuing on. You hear the footsteps, and Marb, you're able to kind of discern it. Al, you're just kind of in shock and trying to keep up with Marb as best as you can on top of that.
I'll try to slow down, kind of like to signal Al, but I'm definitely still trying to keep advancing towards the Adventurers Guild. Like, see if I can wait for them, like, the footsteps to pass. Like, stop, let them pass, and then keep going. But
Okay, gotcha.
If they're not coming in our, like I try to pick, and if they're not, like I don't hear them approaching harder, then we'll move again, or I'll move.
Okay. Okay.
Perfect.
So
I'm definitely following his lead.
okay. So Marb, unfortunately, you're not able to move as quickly as you would want to because have Al in tow. However, you guys are able to continue, and you do keep the ears on the footsteps, but you continue towards your perceived destination. Uh, Go ahead, Al and Marb. Go ahead and give me perception checks. And Marb, you don't have to do disadvantage because you do have dark vision on you.
Does Al not have dark vision?
He does.
Oh,
Al is
okay.
normal. Yeah. Al actually has. Yeah.
Oh,
Al has
not
dark vision.
disadvantage. I got you.
Yeah, not. All right, so straight one. So Marb, you're.
Mom.
Yeah.
Where are we?
I'm blind
guys
now.
are-
I don't know where we are.
Yeah, you
This
guys
is
just
my
kind of.
We went senile now.
Ah!
What's
Where are the
happening?
pigmen? Where am I?
Yeah. You guys are able to walk, and you're kind of keep keeping an eye on each other and moving quietly and stealthily. You hear the footsteps behind you, but you kind of tune them out, and then you're going, and then you guys kind of make a turn, and right in front of you, but 15 feet away, there is just this large, massive leg, just kind of, and you just hear. It's just blocking your path. Would you guys like to?
Stand.
Tunnel vision on the Adventurers Guild, so
Yeah.
I'll try to take shortest, stealthiest path around. It's like, ow, close to me.
Mhm.
Focus. What's the fastest? What's the distance from us to the Adventurers Guild?
At this point, your best guess is you've probably made about halfway of the way there, kind of winding around a little bit. There's not a direct feed to it. You would say you're probably 120 feet or so away. Uh, Al is like, within 30 feet of you as well, as you guys are kind of moving in tandem. And you just kind of turn the corner, and there's just a sleeping giant in your way.
It's not about this. Did we ever talk about the sewage system in Green Hill?
You have,
We've been in
but
it.
Like,
not
if Grant was
recently.
here.
Are there like sewers or?
We went in there once.
You've
But
been
that
in this.
one like closer to the. I thought that was closer to the windmills where we got attacked by the spiders the first time.
Yeah, so you guys were not closer to the windmills, but you guys were on the northern district called the Misty Bridge District. So yes, you were in their waterways. Here, there was the well that was about 2 or 3 blocks away from the Adventurers League, and you guys did do some extra exploring, and did look to have some semblance of a waterway sewage like system. Um, However, you never explored to see where all that led.
We did explore
Oh.
that branch, like
Mhm.
afterwards. But yeah, Marv, you would remember
I
because
thought we
you
tried
got
to
really
run
fucked
back.
up.
Yeah, like I said, like they started popping up like crazy. I thought we just dropped in the well and they was like, nope.
We fought the
I think there was
brood mother or whatever the
One of the hags.
yeah, one of
So
the
I
hags.
think, Nico, you might
guys
be getting.
also got me out of the well the one time. Remember when I went over with the face spider?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
the one
that's
I'm
that one. That's
thinking,
that one.
Yeah. So that was a few, like 2 to 3, and again, I don't have a real unit of measure, but blocks away from the Adventurers League down the well. You explored a little section, but you never went back and did a full exploration to see where all the waterways led. You know that there is some sort of water system Heck, even while you're walking, there's portions where it kind of becomes a bridge linking the road together or sections of Green Hill together, just because there is just all the little finger links of the River Sly kind of just cutting through the city. You weren't here, Mar, but essentially, and this is not accurate, but this is kind of like maybe an inspiration. You go to roll 20. So, like, a lot of Green Hill is kind of like this, where there's just waterways and you're walking and there's just has,
Mm.
buildings here, buildings there. This is more like how it is on the docks. And what they would do is they would just push their barrels and crates down the way and they would float to the buildings and people would get them. So, like, imagine Green Hill as you're walking through, like, maybe not nearly as many of this because you're now more centralized, but there are sections where it's like, oh, shoot, we got to cross over here. Oh, shoot, we got to cross over here. So that's where you guys are kind of navigating. There's buildings in your way and there's this, but in the center, it's more, solid, but there's still the occasional bridge or
Waterway.
little.
Okay, is
Yeah.
there any way around the giant to go under? Is there any like
Absolutely.
waterway?
You not a waterway. You like kind of stop and look, and then you just kind of start stepping back, and then you start shimmying across to the building, and then there's another walkway, and you just manage to walk right by the giant.
Sweet.
I just really wanted to see if you were gonna fuck with a giant. I don't know.
No.
I'm
I'm
glad
a
he
tiny
acted.
person. I know my limits.
So,
Really,
but yeah,
really
Grew
wanted
up
to
like
tickle
at
him with
least 20 to
Hans.
bring out one of these. So
yeah. So, but yeah, no. Essentially, yeah, you manage to just kind of shimmy your way, get around the giant, will start walking there, and then you don't know, but there seems to be a clear path to the ruins of Green Hill about 100 feet away. We're gonna jump over to the footsteps. Rock and Davis, y'all making some noise, trying to hush each other down. Dragnar, you're hearing them and hearing the footsteps. What do you want to do? Ooh, was that me?
No,
Or-
thank you.
Alright. Okay. So, Dragnar.
From the way that the people are coming, are
Mhm.
they going to have a direct line of sight on Davis and Rock?
Direct, no, but if they were to, because you're kind of able to kind of map, kind of follow the road, the trail that they're taking. If they turn a corner or something, they'll probably see them, because there's really nothing for Davis and Rock to hide. It. They're just kind of pressed up against the building, and there's maybe just a little bit of damaged debris on one side, and they're just like, Davis has his glaive out.
Are there any unoccupied buildings that have doors that they have easily access to?
You don't know if they're unoccupied, but there's
Well,
plenty
like
of buildings.
the building I'm in, the roof collapsed. I'm assuming there's nobody in there.
You didn't hear voices after, the roof collapse, so there didn't seem to be any light or anything coming all of a sudden bursting through the little hole.
Can I see if there's a door that they would have easy access to?
Sure, you can give me I guess it would be a perception check from up on the kind of looking over and trying to move quickly.
18.
You said 18.
18. There you can't really see it from the vantage point. You're kind of hanging over, but you see the semblance of like where there's a wooden beam, a horizontal wooden beam that's attached to the building, and it looks like that's where the sign would be hanging. Maybe your best bet.
Okay, I'll point to Davis. I don't know if he's still looking at me. If he's not, I'll throw another pebble.
I would probably be like scanning and then looking up every once in a while.
And then I'll point to them and I'll point in there, down there, to see if they can see the door.
It's on the other side of the building. So Davis, as he's kind of pointing, you see him kind of point to the other side. Like, let's say you're on the west facing wall. He's pointing over on the north facing wall.
And was that towards the footsteps or away from?
Yes, it would be towards the footsteps because they're kind of coming from the east along the way. It's kind of hard for you to turn. Like you just hear the footsteps kind of bouncing around. Dregnar kind of pointed in
Yeah,
the
I probably
east.
never heard them, right?
Yeah. So up to you, your interpretation. Uh,
Yeah, I'll just like make a hand signal, like just pointing in the same direction, so like towards that northern facing wall, and just like shrug, like, what do you want me to do?
God, I really wish I had telepathy right now.
yeah. You, Dregnar, you will hear just the starting of some sort of conversations like, there was noise over there. Probably just another collapse. We need to go check it out. And uh, make sure you'll hear in a much runtier voice, go. And then uh, another voice will kind of chime in. Make sure there's no one hiding out here. Kind of.
Okay, I hear that. Are they visible to me yet?
You start to see like the glow of some torches, but and like some long elongated shadows, but that's about it.
Okay, so this is going to be stupid, but oh well. I'm going to
That's
cast
what D&D's all about, baby.
minor illusion in
Okay.
front of my face to kind of hide my features,
Yeah, sure.
but
Yeah.
I can kind of see through it because I can do that one for free without spending a key point.
Yep.
I will run and leap off of the roof to land in front of the guys, and as I'm going through the air, I will rage.
Okay.
Once I get their attention, I'm going to run them away from where we're at because I know I can outrun them.
Interesting. Okay. So yeah, so you're kind of frustratingly like pointing and you're seeing that Davis is not getting it and Rocket. I guess I should ask CJ, what are you doing during all this?
I'm having a nice little play with the parrot time.
Yeah, you're like pressed up against the wall as Davis kind of has his arm across your chest, kind of pressing you on the wall, and you're just, it's okay, Parrot Pebble.
Meanwhile, I'm like, shh, quiet.
Like, and Pebble is being completely silent in this whole thing. Pebble knows. She's listening to you, Davis. But yeah, so Dragnar, yeah, minor illusion to just basically create like a veil around your face. Per the spell, I mean, you can make it so you can see through it and others cannot see through. So we've seen that where Rock has disguised people with grass and extended walls, and Al has done kind of the same. So easy enough. You kind of reach to like the darkness and kind of pull it in and just kind of whisk it over your face and it stays. And you go get into a rage jump. I kind of just hear you do like a 3-point landing in front of where the light is coming.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely superhero landing.
Yeah.
My fist on the ground.
So do we
Right,
see
and
this?
you
Look at him. He's going to do a superhero landing.
you don't see it because he's on the other side, but you just see Dregnar like point, and then all of a sudden he just vanishes, and then you just hear. And... All right, Dregnar, what are you doing? As you land, it's not a huge impact, especially since you're a monk, but you were, kind of wildly jumping out there. Your face is down, you're looking, you hear the footsteps, you see the lights from the torches.
I will actually close the distance between them.
Okay.
I'm assuming they're coming from around a corner or whatever.
Yep.
I'll run as fast as I can, not dashing, not my last key, but as fast as I can to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want to do is turn and look at them and possibly whatever, because I'm assuming it's some kind of ogre kin or giant kin, not giant, and go, your mama was an ogre, and start running. Oh, except for you, she was an orc. To the big one.
All right. As you do that, Dragnar, as you kind of run to the light, and you see the shadows, start to like kind of shrink as you get closer and closer. You see a group of humanoid figures, mostly in brownish garb. Some have hoods up, some have hoods down. They have, and your quick glance, you do see some glint of metal in their hands, and they're holding torches, and you do indeed see one larger ogre-like entity behind them, stomping away, and you see 5 of them. And then they say, "There he is! Get him!" And they start just kind of.
When they do that, I turn and run and I yell out top of my lungs, "Long live the sovereign!"
Okay. Okay. As you're running.
Get him. I said he doesn't want to help us, so I'll have these guys think he's the enemy.
Yeah, no, I get you. So as you start running, and you hear them start, and their footsteps start running after you. I mean, they literally can't keep up.
Well, I'm gonna do a cat and mouse game just to try to get them away.
Yeah.
All of them following me.
Go ahead and give me a. Oh man. Yeah, we'll just say I'm not gonna make you make a check because you're good enough. You startled them. They were on patrol. They heard that. They wanted to scout out to make sure that there weren't people rummaging through this area. So yeah, you have 5 humanoids running after you as you're kind of weaving through. Do go ahead and give me actually. The big guy is stomping. He's behind. He's chasing right now.
Okay.
Can I ask? Did we hear Dregnard shout that out?
Yes. Yeah. Y'all definitely would have. I was just.
If I hear him shout it, I would tell Pebble to just follow.
Okay. Pebble, go ahead and give me a perception check for Pebble. What is a raven? Raven. 5e Raven.
I would also, while I'm running, Adam, if I can, I'm gonna uncap my ever-smoking bottle.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll me. So she's got a +3 perception. So go ahead and roll me a d20 +3. Dregnar, you do 20 total? Nice. So yeah, Pebble is bit and then listens and then hears the commotion and is able to follow and fly. Pebble flies at 50 feet around or 100 feet if she's dashing, so she's fairly quick. But Pebble doesn't have dark vision, so she's kind of flying up over the buildings to avoid smashing into something. And Dragnar, you slow down at one point, just kind of, and you have the smoking bottle uncorked as you're running, yelling to the Sovereign. Davis, you see Pebble fly off. You hear "Long live the Sovereign," and you hear some commotion actually, as you hear now more clearly, "Get him! That's the one!" And you hear the footsteps kind of echoing, bouncing around, and then you hear those heavier ones.
Gosh, I don't know what I would do.
Right.
Well, I'll look to Rock and be like, should we help? I don't. Or hide? I don't. CJ?
Muted, CJ.
Sorry, I had to step out quickly. What was that?
Oh, so he's asking what I would do, and I'm like, Davis is genuinely confused, and I'm like, should we go help him? I don't. But what was that about the Sovereign? And I don't. I don't know what to do.
I said Pebble. We'll be able to see if he's okay. We've all seen him. I don't know if we could do much, but maybe we shouldn't stay here.
Okay. Where do we? Should we go with the other guys?
I think we should, maybe sneak in with the other guys. Plus, we need to let them know.
I mean, I don't sneak very well. You and I are not. We don't sneak very well.
Well, time to learn.
Yeah. So as you're saying sneak, and you look over the other way where Marb and Al were. Nope, you don't see them. You know the direction they went. They are.
Maybe we just hunker down. Like, now that we've got some time, let's see if we can find a place to hide. Like, we were kind of out in the open. Let's see if we can find some place. He pointed this direction. Let's take a look. I don't know.
Go ahead, you two. Roll me an invest. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, it doesn't have dark vision. Never mind.
I mean, if worse comes to worse, I can always bamf out of here for a couple minutes or a minute or whatever, however long it lasts.
Yeah. I just Pebble can only follow one group. The other, I don't. Yeah, let's bunker down.
Okay.
All right, Davis. As you kind of turn across where the wall on the other side of the building, the north face that Dregnar was pointing down to, you see the alleyway continuing. You kind of walk, kind of discussing with Rock, and you see an overhang, vertical, not vertical, sorry, a horizontal piece of wood, and there's a sign hanging from it. Kind of still, I know you have dark vision, but still kind of dark, and you can't really read what the sign says. But there is a door there.
Is there any light coming from inside the building? Any signs of anybody being in here?
No. Just, go ahead and, for the sake of it, go ahead and give me an investigation check. No, not any immediate signs, at least.
Oh, I rolled a 19, but that's a total of 18.
18. Yeah, you look real quick. There's no signs of candlelight. The only candlelight or torchlight that you see is the natural, lanterns that are, or natural lanterns, the lanterns that are lit. But there's just happens to be like more of a dark part of this roadway. You look, you don't see any light coming from it, and there's the door.
Quietly
and Rock
jimmy
is
the
kind
little
of-
handle, see if it's open.
and it just kind of.
Alright, yeah, I'll wave Rock, be like, just get in here, I guess.
Guy run over.
Okay. You guys get in, and as you
Close
walk
the door
in,
behind us, and if there's like a way to lock it without a key, then I'll lock it. If there's like a deadbolt or something like that, I'll lock that.
Sure. We'll say that this it does have like a just a wooden bar that you can
Okay, sure. Yeah.
that happens to be that, and you just kind of
As quietly as
put
can,
it there.
obviously.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check.
Okay. 8. Thunk!
Yeah, you're like, and it's heavier all of a sudden than you're expecting it. You're focused so much on doing it delicately that you're not putting your muscles.
Yeah,
in.
I was gonna smash my fingers and I dropped it, sorry.
Yeah. And y'all are in there.
Looking out the windows, just
And that's where we'll cut to Al and Marb. You've shimmied your way around a sleeping giant, went across the building to the other side, and then and then like in the distance you hear the sovereign. You hear the word "sovereign" ringing through in a voice, and that giant goes, kicks his leg out. Al and Marb.
Keep moving.
Yep, we're keeping moving. Just as
Okay.
stealthily, quietly as possible.
Right. So as you guys are kind of moving, you are passing up some more, damaged buildings. You are seeing where the road has actually been kind of torn up in some places. You get the smell of the smoke from the ever burning portion of the Adventurers League, and creeping by. Go ahead and roll me a new set of stealth checks.
Stealth check.
Yeah, Al, you're staying close enough to Marb, so correct.
Do I have advantage on this?
You do, because you're on your favorite terrain. Or no, you're considered proficient on it or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. Wow, even with a natural 20, they don't see you guys. Okay, yeah. So you guys are kind of
Yeah, bubble.
you kind of lose each other every once in a while as like the shadows are just kind of ever so lingering on you. And you hear another insult kind of echo through and you just hear the mother of bounty, blah blah blah. Your mother was an ogre, blah blah, just like echoing through. You're like, oh, that's Dregnar. Okay.
He's got some
And
lungs.
Let's go time. Yep. That means we have a timer before they catch him.
Yeah.
Before they
So,
catch me?
I mean, that's how much
Before they
faith he
catch
has in
you.
you. So yeah, Al, Marb, you guys are 50 so feet away from what you would say is like the perimeter of the rubble and the ruins. You see that the looking at the entryway, the left wall, the furthest left wall, is still standing, and then there's a whole bunch of debris. You see that the whole roof is just kind of collapsed in on itself. All 3 stories have kind of come tumbling down. There is a boulder that is, we'll call it 20 feet across, or probably like 20 by 20, just crushed into part of the building. The foundation, even because if you recall, it was built on some sort of like solid foundation. There, you actually see as you're kind of like surveilling, it's got cracks in it, so there's been damage, and there's this constant just smoke kind of coming from parts of it, and you kind of smell the smoke, and you're kind of looking around. It's dark. No torches have been lit, or no lanterns have been lit in this whole area.
With detect magic, could I see anything
Oh, so you do cast detect magic?
other within range of it?
Okay, yeah. So now you kind of step up, Al. You take a moment. Your eyes do that quick flare of yellow, and you see scanning the surface and scanning like what you can see, because like detect magic doesn't, just to help you, you would understand the spell. It doesn't like pierce walls and stuff. Mm-mm. You just see the magic on the bag of holding that Marb has. You kind of see the glow from Hans, your horn. Doesn't seem to be really any magic.
I'm gonna let Marb know that boulders, they're mundane.
Uh,
Yeah, they're just big and heavy.
boulders.
Shall we try the front?
Can I roll out a quick perception to see if there's any footprints, or like does it look like the building collapsed and that's it, or have like people moved around stuff? Does that make
Sure.
sense? Does it look like just a
Yeah,
boulder?
so you can. It would be more of an investigation check, as you. Oh, I should ask this. Are you doing it from a distance? Or are you trying to get like up in there and then just kind of like move stuff around to see? That's what I should ask.
No, definitely. I think you said like 50 feet away.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
from where we are. Just
Okay. Go. Yeah. It would be. Go ahead and do a perception. It is actually, as you're kind of looking, it is on like the the far distance of your dark vision. You're still able to see, but you're realizing kind of your limitations of what you actually can see. Yeah. Okay. 18. There has
that's 15. Sorry.
15. Okay. There's some foot traffic. You can kind of see it. Like you can kind of make out some. However, it's difficult to say how long ago it was. Yeah, you're kind of looking at a distance, and you do see, there are some signs of some footprints and maybe some foot traffic, but you would have to get much closer to get a better idea of when or who possibly.
Okay, but there's definitely signs that there were people around. Perfect. So I tell that to Alice, like, I might need to get a lot closer, but it's definitely been some people that have come by here. So let's get going. Like, let's get forward.
Sounds good.
So you guys kind of look, kind of keeps the shadows, which are lingering to you, and you step forward, go through. Al, you're kind of looking around, and you just hear like heavy footsteps, kind of walking. You kind of feel it shake it. Marb, you feel the shaking, and as you guys kind of press on the side, a giant just kind of, but 40 feet away from you, seemingly not noticing y'all. holding your breath. It passes and it kind of goes off, and you wait, and you kind of it's walking towards the direction of Dregnar's yelling.
Oh, good. Okay. So that's gonna be away from us.
Yeah, that's our window.
Let's go. Can we approach the last 50 feet?
Yeah, takes you a little bit. You approach. You're there amongst the rubble. The once beautiful building, now basically not there. Uh yeah, what are you're essentially like you've approached it. You have this brief like flash in your mind of this was the walkway up to the front door. So you are essentially at the front door.
Sweet. Then can I do a silent perimeter around to check for that cellar entrance?
Yeah, so you can step forward, kind of go ahead. I know difficult terrain will not impede you, Marb, because this is, what you're on your terrain. Go ahead and give me an investigation check as you're just trying to figure out where it was, how it was.
Get advantage of investigation.
Yeah, because of your totem right now.
Yeah.
And you do get an additional +3 to the roll. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 27.
Yes.
You are moving through. You're kind of like in your mind echoing, like, mirroring the steps that you would have taken. Okay, there's the desk off to the here. So you kind of go there. You kind of remember. You kind of look behind you, and you just see what would have been the benches and where you had eaten. And you see Al just kind of staying in the distance, kind of keeping an eye out, looking at you. And Al, you're just seeing Marb kind of just very, very quickly and nimbly just kind of walk over things. And you're just like, okay, that I can't do that. That is difficult. He's making it look very easy. And Marb, you're kind of there looking, and then you kind of, you kind of point. Okay, the stairs would have been here, and you're trying to. There's just rubble and debris, like everything you're walking on. You're probably on like 5 to 10 feet of just rubble, like as you're walking. It's whatever was below has been buried.
Ooh.
Because you're realizing that you are probably standing like on parts of the roof and everything right now, which was 3 stories above.
Is there any the other things I wanted to look for was Swig's office. Is there any way to discern where that used to be in the rubble of the building?
Go ahead and, because it's different. Go ahead and give me another investigation check.
So there's nothing.
17.
7.
As you're kind of like thinking about that, looking, you're kind of smelling. You smell. You smell like rotten crab, rotten fish, just very faintly, just kind of off to one direction, and you kind of start moving over there. However, where the smell is coming from, there's really you just see like maybe like the semblance of like a crushed crab, just barely, amongst the rubble. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Oh,
Okay.
never mind.
Yeah, you're just kind of looking. There's really nothing. You're just seeing rubble, debris. Going to Al real quick. Al, you kind of see Marb continue kind of very like stealth parkouring over rubble, debris, going under places, looking at. He's elevated a good, in some places 10, if not more feet, just standing on top of rubble and debris as you're kind of just at the kind of at where it would be the entryway, kind of pressed up against it, kind of hiding, looking out. What are you doing?
Mostly I'd be keeping keeping an ear out for smaller footsteps.
Okay.
I feel like the giants kind of cover that up if they're nearby.
Mm-hmm.
But if Marv starts getting too far away, I want to take my time and just kind of close the distance to him.
Okay. Go ahead. Give me a perception check, and then go ahead and start navigating. You move much slower because this is difficult terrain, and you're being quiet, so you're essentially moving like 5 to 10 feet around. You're like, okay. You don't hear any light footsteps. You hear the creaking of some of the boards, some of the shifting of the debris. Wow, 24 from that distance. You hear one of the giants, like again, kind of breathing heavily and snoring. You would hear another set of, like, we'll call them medium footsteps, kind of boom, 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 off a ways away, maybe 60 plus feet away from you guys, but they're somewhere in the vicinity of the ruins, as you can hear them walking around. It's kind of hard to ascertain where. And you are kind of coming up to one of the boulders, and you kind of put your weight on it, kind of lean up on it, kind of keeping yourself hidden from that direction of the sound.
But
All right.
the medium does sound like one set of footsteps.
Uh,
Or was I able to tell?
a couple, 2, 3 sets, but heavier footsteps. Not
Gotcha.
massive, but heavier.
Okay.
All right, and we'll cut over to our dwarven friend running, playing cat and mouse, yelling
I don't
insults.
know. Yelling insults, but also trying to rouse the people so they know they can hear me. Going, why are we allowing these goblin lovers to rule Green Hill? Stand up for yourselves. They are few, we are many. Just trying to let people know that someone is defying the
Okay.
The whore of bounty, as I'm yelling her name.
Okay. Sorry. Give me a persuasion check while you're doing it.
Oh, that's great. With a -2. Let's see here.
Yeah, I know.
That one, I got a -1.
Nice. You are you're yelling. You're yelling, but you seem to be pissing off the people that are chasing you even more, and they seem to be like somehow not getting tired and like, how dare you! And just running after
You
you.
better catch me before I get to your mama's house.
And they start yelling back at you. I'm sorry, I'm not witty right now. But Dragnar, yeah, you're able to kind of navigate, jumping through, parkouring your way, keeping them in sight. You've been doing this for easily a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes now. The heavier footsteps seemingly have, or the visual of the larger one is not there. You do see
When I see
number.
that, I actually backtrack to try to get him so I don't lose him through the side streets and all that, using whatever memory I may have of this area, or just kind of using general directions.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a survival check as you're zipping through.
A tree.
23? Wow, nice. Yeah. Easy enough. You've kind of gotten used to the winding and twisting, and you kind of follow one path, and you literally at one point you just turn and start running, barreling, not raging anymore, but running towards the crowd, and they like start to brace themselves and prepare themselves, you just kind of stop and turn down another way and start running, and then jut back, and you're kind of running back in the original direction. You don't hear or see the big guy, but you're running back in the direction where you've lost him. And
Okay, if I don't see him, I will lose the other guys doing full out speed, and
Okay.
then I'll try to get him. Do I happen to see the parrot flying overhead?
Okay, you can give me a perception check at disadvantage because you are going fast. And Pebble is not a shiny thing in the dark.
16.
Oh, 16. Well, Pebble is not very stealthy. You hear the wings and you kind of look up and you see a parrot out of place, and then you keep running.
Well, I'll give it a thumbs up and point at myself, thumbs up again, and I'll keep going.
CJ, roll me a perception check for Pebble. Disadvantage because it's nighttime.
Okay. 2 plus whatever.
5. You give the thumbs up, Dregnar, and you just see Pebble keep flying past.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep yelling insults and trying to
Okay.
rouse the people, and I'm gonna lose the humanoids and try to see if I can get back to. Was it a giant can, ogre can? What kind of creature was it?
It looked like a ogre more than anything.
Yeah, I'll try to
Like
get
a
my
quick
way.
glance. Just like,
Yeah, try to get my way back to that.
okay. So you'll be running, jumping, full speed.
I will put the bottle away, and I will get my shog ready just in case I happen to run into it.
Okay, so you do kind of slow down for a little bit, put it down, get your show, start picking up speed again. And then you do look over your shoulder, and Pebble does kind of, with your yelling, turn and starts kind of following your yelling again. Davis, Rock, as you are inside the building, what's inside? What type of building did you guys get into?
I just followed Davis. I wasn't paying that much attention.
Well, it's gonna be let's just say it's a brewer's building.
Okay.
So
Some random
there's-
brewery. Okay.
Yeah, it's just not like a brew pub, just like a guy who brews and then sells to other pubs.
So as you kind of step in, immediately there's this smell that hits you of not hops and barley and ale, but of spices, strong spices, kind of on the cayenne, the clove, the nutmeg, and it just fills that room. And you kind of look, and you just see broken glass and jars just scattered amongst the floor. It's just kind of the cabinets have been crushed and everything, and you just see what looks like all those spices and herbs spilled out on the ground. I'm not going to make y'all roll a history check, but hey, something people don't realize is back in the old day, ale went bad, and that's what you put spices and butters and creams in it to try to make it last longer or taste more palatable.
Does it look like it's been worked over? Like somebody specifically went to?
No, as you're kind of looking, you just see that's part like where the roof has kind of collapsed and it's
okay.
kind of like a beam has kind of fallen and shattered it, and it just kind of spilled haphazardly. And that it's very dark in here, as the only real light that's coming is a little bit of the star and moonlight that's coming through, poking through the holes in the roof. And now there's another hole thanks to Dragnar's foot.
Big chungus.
And yeah, and it's not a large building. It's your standard, let's call it, I don't know, 40 by 40 kind of block. So it's not tiny, but
I'll say to Rock, I'll be like, hey, can you do the hand thing where you talk to people and just let Alan Marv know that we bunkered down? Actually, if you do that, can people around them hear it? I don't.
No, I think only the person I send it to can hear it. But I may have, we're in town. I didn't think that would have been that useful, so I may have swapped that out for. And I'll just pop up a little mage hand and it'll wave. give a thumbs up and be like, "Yeah, I got that back."
Oh. Okay.
And
So
then
no,
just kind
Yeah, no. I can't. I need to sleep to be able to do that.
Well, I don't think we're gonna sleep right now. I think we just, I don't know what Dragnar's doing. He's just running around making noise. But we can't leave Alan Marb.
I can check on him.
How?
Hold on a sec, and I'll bamf into cover.
You know what we need? We need Grant to marry us so we can develop like telepathy with one another, and this would never be a problem. Something like that.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
Or there's just a spell.
It's time to take the offer, you know.
I believe I can do it too. I think it's a level 1 cleric thing. If anyone wants to get married, I'll marry someone.
I get
Will it give
two
us
with it.
telepathy?
No, it
well,
doesn't.
no. What James was about to say is there is a 6th level spell that can give your group like group telepathy.
Oh yeah,
Spoiler alert: I will be
There we
learning.
go.
Yeah, telepathic bond.
but not for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Couple levels,
it's not.
right?
Yeah, a little
like
bit more
11,
for
I
him.
think. When do you get your
For
sixth
him, it'd be
level?
12 or 13 for him because
Okay,
he's
right.
cleric.
We just
but-
need 5 helms of telepathy and we're good.
We just need to all
Davis
be Kalishtar and we can all speak
Yeah.
telepathically.
Davis will be
too.
wearing a helm on a helm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or ghostwise halflings.
Oh, that's true.
Those, yeah. But yeah, no. Aside. So you're in this dark space, smelling heavily of spice. You do smell some ale, and there is just that smell of like stagnant water. Probably it was raining at some point and it's just collected in here. The boards are creaking ever so slightly, but there is no sign of like imminent collapse. You do hear Dragnar's "the whore of bounties." Just
I
kind of-
specifically heard him try to insult somebody by saying their parent was an orc, and we're gonna have words about that.
I think he said ogre, but maybe I
He
may have
said
misheard him.
ogre and orc. He said, except for you, yours is an orc.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Am I
So,
misremembering Dragnar?
I
You
can
could-
neither confirm nor deny that because I'm not there right now.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and then you do see Rock, his eyes glaze
yeah.
over.
I'll like just take his arm and put it on my shoulder, just like the normal. Unless he's like sitting
You're-
down or something already.
Yeah, Rock, you're flying over, not too high, but not very low. It's kind of dark. It's kind of hard to tell. You see some little flickers of lights once in a while. Go ahead and give me a perception check through Pebble. So disadvantage.
A little better. 8 plus 3, you said, so
11.
11.
It's enough for where, as you're kind of keeping an eye on Pebble or through Pebble, and you're seeing kind of the happenings, and you see the torchlight, and you see like the group kind of this mass of light kind of running around, kind of follow this booming voice, and you're kind of keeping for like a minute or two through Pebble, as long as you tell me you're holding it.
Quick enough to see that Dragnar is not getting stomped on by a bunch of
Yeah.
people. And that's it. I just want to make sure he's still running.
Yeah. So on that quick little bamf, from what you saw on Pebble, there's not that much activity in the street and the alley. The couple streets and alleys that Pebble was, swooping through. There's the group chasing Dragnar. There was Dragnar. You didn't see much.
Okay. I'll just tell Davis, be like, yeah, that dwarf, I don't know how he runs as fast as he does, but he'll be okay.
Yeah, I believe that. But I mean, I guess we just hang out.
I smell. It smells good in here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
There's like
find out
some
what
kind
that
of
is.
funk in here, but there's some pretty good stuff in here too. It smells.
I cast light spell on my staff, but I keep it like half tucked under my cloak, so it's very limited.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just want to look around and see if we can get a feel for where we are.
Yeah, I'll go along with that.
So you kind of your frog illuminates, and you kind of put your cloak over it to kind of. You're seeing. Like you see, like mostly what you're seeing in this section that you're in is there are some drums, like wooden barrels. One is cracked and crushed, and you're seeing like a dark liquid that's kind of seeped out of it, kind of into the floor, and it's kind of dried. You're seeing many shattered glass vessels and bent up metal vessels that have labeling on them, or some have labeling that remains on them, and they read off of, nutmeg, sugars, uh, clove, ginger, just different spices. Uh, Seemed like it was a well stocked at one point around here.
But everything's smashed. There's nothing really.
You can go ahead and give me an investigation check if you like.
If I can, I'll help.
Yeah. No, you have
I'm
a
not
negative. I'm not.
proficient.
Yeah,
exactly.
you have a negative though. That's the big thing.
16 plus 7.
Oh damn.
22.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, you can kind of go to your discretion. You are able to find a collection of different vessels that were more of the metal variety, not the clay pots or the glass that seem to have survived. Some are, banged up a bit. You find some dried oranges. Actually, you find some allspice, some nutmeg, some anise, some cinnamon, some clove. You do find and smell. You find it more mostly as a smell. You find dried. It looks like stomachs, like dried out, cleaned out, like stomachs, probably from sheep's or some kind of animal like that. You also do your nose kind of puts you in the direction of now what's been like spoiled dairy because it hasn't been used, more of the harsh smell. Uh, yeah, there's a plethora of spices and dried oranges
I'm sure some
that
grains
you,
and stuff as well.
yeah,
Can
that
I?
have been dried.
I'll grab a couple of the stomachs and just hoard them. I don't have a big hole anymore, so just whatever I can carry. Grab a couple of stomachs. I'll start munching on some oranges, and if there's a container, I'm taking all the cinnamon that I can put in a container.
You're kind of looking for container. There are some containers, and you look at like, the stomach, and the stomach it's dried and it's kind of stretchy, and that's what they use to pour everything in and mix it and let it sit. So
2 sheep stomachs full of cinnamon.
Nice.
as much cinnamon as you can get. Sounds good.
Yep.
Because you rolled so high, there is a book that seems to be like pressed under some of the debris. It seems like a simple, brown cover. Maybe it's a little wet or got wet, some water damage, but you do notice a book.
Since I summoned my mage hand, I'll have the mage hand. Can the mage hand pick the book up?
The book, it'll kind of like pull and go ahead and give me an Arcana check because it is kind of wedged.
25.
Yeah. Somehow mustering enough, magical strength. What is supposed to only be able to move 5 pounds is able to move and pulls the book out, and it's holding kind of drifts over. And you have it kind of clutching it in front of you.
Okay. Does it have a title?
Various spiced and mulled ales from around the region. Looks like it's...
Okay. I will keep that. I won't read it right now, but I will keep it.
All right. Please make a note that you have that.
Just to be safe, I'm going to just quickly flip through to make sure that's what it actually is.
Yeah, you kind of flip through and you see like a recipe for beaten egg beer. Another one, 5 spice beer, and yeah.
Is there an Ogre Buster recipe in there?
Flipping through it, he's just kind of doing a quick. Nothing that you don't see anything that says Ogre Buster.
Oh man, I guess that was more just the quantity than the actual drink.
Hey, Davis, do you carry? I should know this, but do you carry like a sack or anything? Or
I mean, I have places along my clothing and stuff I can store things, but not really.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just attach the sheepskins. Somehow, I assume I have a way to my shell and the book, and I'll tuck it in.
Like I have an adventurer's pack, just like everybody.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. So Rock's Adventurers pack is just kind of strung up across his back just for flavor's sake. He still has one, but it's just the different ropes and nets and everything that he uses to keep things in place. But yeah, Rock, essentially, if you want to do notes and you want to have fun, you can say one sheep's stomach full of cinnamon and another sheep's stomach of mold spices. MULLED spices. And then you have a book, which is, various craft mold beer ales from around the region. Go figure.
Okay. Then one other thing I want to do, and this might be a bad idea.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I'll be like, hey, Davis, I have an idea to keep watch for when the guys get back, but it's also kind of noticeable.
Sounds like
I
a
want to
great
put my
idea.
staff outside. They'll still be glowing. And then I want to summon an arcane eye and have the arcane eye watching for anybody coming, and the staff should give it enough light to see for a little bit in all directions. Is that a terrible idea? I'm asking Davis.
No, I know what I'm thinking. Is there any way you can disguise it a little? Like maybe hide it within one of those lamps out there or something?
Well, I guess the streets are probably kind of lit, right?
So where you guys are, not as much light as you would expect. There are some of the lanterns were lit, but there doesn't seem to be nearly as much light over here. Rock, I'll just say you're smart enough. You don't have to. You can do it if you want to, but you don't have to put it on your staff. Like you could put it on some sort of object out there. You just have like a radiating light spell.
Yeah. Or is there anything I could burn? Like, is there anywhere I could stick and attach a torch to keep things lit?
I
Just
mean,
so the eye can have some viewing range.
that's up to you. Like, sure. I mean, theater of the mind. You
I have
are in
torches.
a.
Okay, I'll be like, yeah. Why do we want to? No, I need to keep my staff. What was I thinking? And I'll grab one of Davis's torches, light it quickly, and well, no, not even quietly. Quickly run outside, put the torch on a post or something, and I'll summon arcane.
Okay. And we're gonna go ahead and take a break there because it's 10:30.